Women think these behaviors attract men, but they don't. We all believe we know what the other sex is searching for in a partner. It feels intuitive, like some sort of spiritual wisdom placed upon us from the beginning. Unfortunately, once you start dating, you'll quickly realize that your intuition might be wrong on several occasions. For one thing, men are not a monolith. Thus, there is a wide range of what they find appealing and do not find appealing, just as there is with women. But when you're dating and looking for Mr. Right, you want to highlight your best features, and it'd be helpful to know what Mr. Right finds sexy so you can focus on those more. So, how can you truly understand what men find appealing and start to overcome long-held misconceptions? We're here to help you with that. Here's a list of 7 habits that women mistakenly believe make them attractive, and which you must avoid if you want real, mature guys to be attracted to you. Number 1. Worrying too much about appearance. Men are highly visual, particularly when it comes to dating. What emotions and social cues are to women, appearance is to men. However, they're not the only thing we care about, and neither should you. I once heard a female friend say, "Women are probably afraid of wearing sweatpants and no makeup around you." I was astonished, since this could not be further from the truth. I haven't seen my wife wearing makeup in over 2 weeks, yet she is still the most gorgeous woman I know. Nonetheless, I see how my friend got the idea. Women's looks are what men talk about the most. They're what society values most, especially in the age of Instagram, Photoshop, and high-definition televisions. I don't like this reduction to appearance one bit. It does not accurately reflect reality. Yes, there are men who just choose attractive women. There are also women who like being attractive, not for men, but for themselves. However, regardless of gender, when appearance is all you care about, it becomes boring and bothersome. Any human being is much more than their appearance. If you limit yourself to your appearance, that's all others will see as well. Don't be scared to put effort into your look if it makes you happy and comfortable, but don't forget that you're more than your appearance. Number 2. Desire to be very thin. You can't be too rich or too thin. Words of wisdom have lingered in the minds of women and men for years. Yet research doesn't agree on the thin part. Mind you, there's a $71 billion industry that desperately wants this adage to be true. The weight loss business will gain much from convincing women that they must always maintain a lower BMI in order to be attractive. Even though studies show that 95% of diets fail, it doesn't stop a lot of women from trying. However, Professor Devendra Singh of the University of Texas discovered that men do not worry about your BMI. In 2010, Singh and her colleagues published a paper in Evolution and Human Behavior stating that body mass index, or BMI, was not a significant influence on men in finding women attractive. They do care about your waist-to-hip ratio. Men find a lower waist-to-hip ratio incredibly appealing, regardless of the actual pounds on the scale. Number 3. Acting as if you had a lot of men interested in you. Some women believe that by acting as if they had many men interested in them, they would attract more men. Sure, competition is designed to increase appeal, but it can quickly go south if overdone. If you tell a man that you have other men waiting in line to date you, his ego may drive him to either leave or stay just long enough to get the validation he needs. Some men have fragile egos, and appearing as if you have a large number of other men interested in you is a mistake that will quickly turn them off. Number 4. Saying yes, being obedient, and fulfilling his every wish. Most men want to be dominant and lead, but most women prefer to be courted and taken by the hand. It's a stereotype, yet it applies to the majority of people. However, this doesn't mean that you should agree to everything and succumb simply because it appeals to his primitive instincts. When I ask my partner what she wants for dinner, 2 worst-case situations occur. One is her rejection of everything I propose, and the other is her agreement to my option despite knowing she prefers something different. At the very least, I know she is addicted to pasta, so I can always take the easy way out. Men hate drama, but what we desire even less is a woman who doesn't have an opinion and agrees with everything we say. It feels amazing at first, but gets boring quickly. If you are a woman and want to be led by a man, it doesn't mean that your desires are inferior. Good leadership entails taking responsibility for those being led and maintaining open lines of communication. In the long term, a guy will always be more drawn to a woman he can meet at eye level. Number 5. Always having to be saved and looked after. Most men enjoy being heroes and rescuing their damsels in distress, so she looks at him with goo-goo eyes and tells him he's the world's strongest, bravest, and most brilliant man. It appeals to our primitive instincts for protection and nurturing, but only to a degree. If you plan to maintain a long-term relationship rather than a few moments of interest, the damsel in distress story will not always work. If a man is always rescuing you from debt, arguments, and poor choices, he'll run for the hills. Such high maintenance is unattractive. It might also be as simple as calling a man for help around the house. That seems harmless until he sees you as a vulnerable woman who is constantly in need of assistance. A man will admire you for keeping your life together. Isn't it exhausting to go out into the world and battle for your dreams just to return home and have to fix your woman? Number 6. Self-depreciation to massage his ego. After all these years spent fighting for gender equality, it's absurd to believe that you have to play dumb to attract a man. Men who favor dumb women are insecure and unable to compete with smart women. We've all seen women meet men and suddenly become less intelligent, hanging on his every word like a love-struck schoolgirl. Playing dumb may attract a man, but he may not be the right person for you. Will you continue to play dumb throughout the relationship? Men who are self-assured and comfortable do not feel intimidated by intellectual women. Not only that, but a woman who lacks intelligence will turn them off. Number 7. Acting like someone he might love. This final piece of advice applies to both men and women, and it is the most common reason people fail to find the right relationship. Finally, we all want someone who accepts us for who we are at our core, with all of our strengths and weaknesses, perks and quirks. The problem is that most people's behaviors portray the exact opposite story. When dating, you put yourself in the best possible light. You don't start with a bad social media habit, a messy room, overeating, or a dislike for exercise or healthy cooking. I wouldn't either, but they're all a part of you, so there's no use in hiding them. Perfection is boring. I've had women trying to be the ideal girlfriend for me in the past, behaving as if we listened to the same music, shared the same hobbies, and held the same beliefs. I could see through the facade, and it turned me off. What made me fall in love with my partner today wasn't more than simply our similar hobbies and love of hamburgers. She was genuine, not scared to be different or disagree, and she didn't hide the not-so-beautiful parts of her personality and life. She did not pretend to be someone she wasn't. And while I didn't always like what I saw, it was genuine and the most attractive I've ever been to someone. Be authentic. Well, that's about it. Hope it helped, and thanks for watching.